Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak to this audience. I sat down there. I stood up about 3 times because I was getting a bit bored. I'm quite an active individual. I'm an athlete. So I want everyone to stand up. Let's start with that. Someone read my mind over there. Right. What we're going to do, I'll give you an instruction, and you have to obey my instruction. When I say clap, you raise your hand. When I say raise your hand, you clap. Is that easy enough? Yes, okay. Clap. Raise your hand. If you get it wrong, just sit yourself down. Don't let me point you out. Raise your hand. Clap. Clap. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Clap. I can always see some people sitting down. Now clap. Raise your hand. Clap. Oh, I can see some humans here, so they are not all machines. Just sit down. Thank you. I love that exercise because it has to do with how we humans are configured, why we are different from machines. Because the machines will obey the instruction to the last. So those that sat down at some point are actually the humans, not the standing, because they could act a bit more intuitive. I'll start by saying my name is Sylvester Juwe, which is quite obvious. I'll be giving a talk on beyond data science. So my talk today is going to be quite different, although I will talk about some technical stuff, but most of what I'll be talking about is more businessy, because we try to use data science, AI, to improve businesses, business outcome, or solve a problem, which brings me to one of the key things I really do not like. Don't quote me on this, please. I don't like being called a data scientist because every single person has a definition for a data scientist. I'll prepare myself to be called a problem solver because I solve problems. So I'll be taking you through problem-solving processes within the business context in such a way that we use data science to unlock business value and contribute to business strategies. Let's see if the technology will work. Yes, it does.
Hello, just after semi-skimmed milk.
Your search for semi-skimmed milk returned 0 results.
We don't sell milk.
Your search for milk returned 52,256 results. Your top hit, milk of magnesia.
No.
Milk floats of yesteryear.
No.
This milk-themed family wall planner.
No, sorry, I'm just looking for, normal milk.
Couldn't find what you were looking for.
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't find it, so I'm asking you if you could...
Advanced search.
All right, let's do this. Keyword, now, go.
Yeah, okay. Milk.
Please narrow your search by using one of the following filters. Kayaks, packet 12, self-cleaning, breakfast and condiment.
That one. Breakfast.
1 result.
Milk, skimmed semi.
Semi-skimmed milk. That's what I first asked you for.
It's milk skimmed semi.
Does that happen a lot to us as data scientists? Interfacing with the business, interfacing with the real problems. It's on YouTube, so you can watch it again. They are too technical. We are too technical. That's the business speaking. That's the business speaking again. We know that story, cannibalization. We've heard this far too frequently today when we build products for 6 months and the business opportunity is gone. So I'll be talking about how we can actually deliver business value using data science approach. I'll be stealing from a project I did in my previous role as a consultant at Business Elements Solution. It was an interesting problem that had to do with cross-selling campaigns to improve the return on market investment for a telecommunication company. So I'll start with the business strategy. I'll move into business innovation, which I'll talk about. Our team here is AI innovation. It's an area I'm passionate about. My PhD is in innovation. We're talking about customer value and how it is actually in the center of what we do as a business-oriented data scientist or data analyst or whatever we call ourselves. Then we'll look at mapping business into data problems. Then we'll look at a typical case study. We'll bring all this to life using a critical case study using Uplift modeling and how we actually answer a business question the right or what I think is the right way. I stand to be corrected. So the problem context. The industry is the technical telecommunication industry. Within this company, I wouldn't want to give names. They have products such as pay-as-you-go, so you pay according to what you use. They've got, they pay monthly mobile contracts, pay every month, fixed amount, and you have a fixed usage or unlimited bundles. And you have the mobile broadband, which was what this company was trying to cross-sell to their customers. The customer base was over 5 million, and the problem was that they were successfully cross-selling the mobile broadband to the customers at random at first, and it looked good. All of a sudden, their return wasn't as good as it was. Their conversion wasn't as good as it was. Then they moved over to using propensity models, particularly, to be quite clear, the easiest model, logistic regression. It works, it works. It was working at first, and suddenly they discovered it was no longer working. So they brought us in. What do we do next? That's where we started. So their core strategy of the business, they were becoming more customer-centric as against being product-centric. I'll go into more details on that. They were more value-driven. They wanted customers that they would make more money from rather than having a lot of customers and losing money. We're spending more time on that. They had a growth objective for the year when we joined. They wanted to be more efficient. They wanted to grow, be more efficient, and actually try not to lose customers. All these are competing. They are pulling the company in different directions. So we have to look for a way to deliver a project that will contribute to all these business objectives, which is quite tricky. Because if I'm trying to grow, it's difficult for me as a business to work on efficiency because I'll be spending more money to grow. Current capability, what do they have going for them? Have good understanding of the customer data. Product-centric strategy, you want to build the best product out there. In the case of this company, it was a telecommunication company. So looking at the best tariffs, the best solutions to the business, and the best solutions, the best thing you can think of. However, moving on to being customer-centric, you're thinking of the customer first before the product. What does the customer actually want? What kind of tariff do my customers want? So that is where they are moving to. Normally, I would say, give the customer, use as much as you want. That's the best product for a manageable amount. But some customers want just 500 minutes for a fixed price that is quite low, which is quite different from the normal product-centric, give them the best product. They were moving away from a volume-driven business, that is, get as much customers as possible, to a value-driven business. Mind you, when you say value-driven, it doesn't mean you chase your customers away. You think of ways to make them more valuable, which is where the cross-selling comes in. So you have this product, I bolt on another product for you, and I make more money from you. Not quite you. Business innovation. For you to move between strategies, you are innovating. Because why you are changing your strategy is because you want more value. So you're doing something new that drives business value. How you go about it depends on you. If you want to understand your customer, which is key to the value exchange, you give the customer more value, they give you more value. But the center of that is understanding the customer. There are two ways you can go about it. They have 5 million customers. If they want to understand every single customer, they need to hire 5 million employees to go after the customers. That's one choice. The other choice is to use data, which is where we come in. Using data to understand the customer, what they value. So we are answering this question using data. What do the customers value? What drives them to act? Which is the question we try to answer with propensity models. But how good are models in solving business problems? Yesterday, I had no wife. Today, I got married. I have one wife. And at this rate, in a month, I would have how many wives? About 30 or more, using a linear model. Yeah. So we always need to think about the context before we use those models, which brings me to the business problem. Now, how many of us have come across propensity models? Let me see if I'm alone. Propensity models. Oh, okay. I'll move into explaining what a propensity model does. A propensity model answers the question, who would buy? That is building a model that predicts buying or cross-selling or churn. So, when I find those customers that would buy, most businesses will give them an offer or call them up or give them a promotion so they buy. But there's a problem with the propensity model. Let's see if this works. No, it's not working exactly as I want. Sometimes, depends on how you design it, it doesn't actually consider the offer or the treatment. So you've built a propensity model based on data of customers that have previously bought, and you give them an offer or a promotion. It doesn't actually answer the question, is that offer why the customer would buy? As a result, you spend money when you really do not need to spend money. We'll come back to that in more detail. In fact, I've had this experience, I don't know about you. I was on a phone contract, and I was just waiting for the end of my 12 months to go to another provider. So getting to the end of my 12 months, because I'm very busy, I'm busy coding away as a data scientist, I received a message from the company telling me, oh, you're due for a renewal. You need to take this new product. And I said, oh, actually, I need to move to the next network. So sometimes your promotion could actually send the customer packing or make you lose money. They go into another product that is cheaper, a less valuable product. When we do propensity modeling, most companies go for the top decile. That is the top 10%. You give them a promotion. But the top 10% are the top 10% that would most likely buy, irrespective of the offer or not. So why am I giving them an offer? million question. There's a drift, a movement towards uplift modeling. It is not the answer. It's got its weakness, it's got its difficulty, which we'll be talking through as we'll be going through this talk. But what the question he answers is, who would buy as a result of my promotion? So you've got two axes this time. Last time we had just one. Now we've got two. So buying without a promotion and buying with a promotion or an offer. When I say an offer, I mean an incentive. It is possible you go to a customer, we've got this product which we feel is suitable for you. So the cost I'm incurring at that point is just the cost of the communication. And at other times, you give an offer. In this case, they will give a voucher of about $100. You've got 4 types of customers. Your loyalists, those are customers that would buy irrespective of the offer as long as they know. If they know you've got the product, they will buy, whether offer or not. It could be that the product is indispensable to them. You've got those that you shouldn't disturb. Those are those customers that you lose value as a result of your promotion or your offer. Then you've got those that are lost cause. Don't even go to them. No matter what you do, they will still leave. Or they wouldn't take the product. And you've got the persuadables. Those that actually take an action as a result of your offer. So in my opinion, the persuadables should be those you should be targeting with your offers. In that way, you are marketing efficiently and effectively. Of course, you inform the loyalist, which will come to, but you target the persuadables with the offers. So you see that the loyalists will be about the top 3 decile. I'm not very accurate with these, I just use colors. But the persuadables will be normally around the 60th or the 6th decile, or 4th decile, is it? 4th decile. You'll be around there, that's where you gain the most value. So for the rest of this talk, we'll be looking at the alignment of this project, the business technical alignment, the modeling context, the pre-processing and the actual modeling, the implementation, and the business outcome. So we'll start with a clear analysis of the problem, and how we actually align with the final solution. First thing you think of is, how would resolving this problem contribute to the different business capabilities? That project I'm thinking of, that upselling or cross-selling model I'm building, Uplift model, how is it going to improve different business capabilities? I'll show you a few business capabilities. To what extent do differing business capabilities translate to business objectives? We've seen our objectives, we'll go into that in the next slide. This is a big problem. How does our solution integrate to establish business processes? In the case I had, the business was already using logistic regression to drive their campaigns. So I need to do something or build a model that would easily fit into that, so I don't have a friction with the technical team or those that would put the model to production when I'm away as a consultant. Then the next question is a very interesting one. What happens if nothing is done? Which is one of the easiest ways you can actually quantify the impact of a project. If the business can answer that question. What happens if nothing is done? Is it a regulatory problem? Are we trying to improve our net promoter scores? So what will be the impact? What risks are involved in developing a solution? How long is it going to take me? Am I sure it's going to work? Yes, I might not be sure, but when I prototype a bit, iterate, I would have a clearer idea. What problems could be involved in operationalizing a solution? This is where things like cannibalization come into play. by cross-selling to that customer. Will the customer drop my pay-as-you-go? Does cross-selling make the customer leave another product they could have bought that is more valuable? You need to think of those things, because what happens is that you deliver this solution and the business come back to you that as a result of your solution, they have problems elsewhere. So you might not have the answers to this question, but these are things you need to ask the business stakeholder in order to deliver an end-to-end solution that unlocks pure business value. In our case, these are the business mandate: growth, efficiency, and reducing account losses. The first capability is reducing churn, which contributes to those two: new acquisition, growth. And what we found at the end of the project is that our Uplift modeling in some ways contributed to all of them. There are, of course, more business capabilities, but I've chosen those that we actually contributed to at this point. So conceptual representation of the typical Uplift model. So this is a case: a customer A, without an offer, they wouldn't buy. But when you have an offer, they buy. That is the conceptual representation of what's going on. But when you come to the technicalities in modeling, it's quite difficult because these two things cannot occur to the same customer at the same time. So it becomes a bit tricky to model. So an approach could be you have a treatment group and a control group. I'll go into detail about the treatment and control group in a minute. So you have the case A, then you look for a similar case to A in the treatment group. Their propensity to buy on the two groups, and you see the difference. This is one of the approaches to Uplift model that we took. Mind you, aligning to one of the panel speakers, we try to approach this problem using two methods, which we'll go to in subsequent slides. So you see that this is how it translates: control group, treatment group. And this is how we put the groups together, because we didn't have enough time to actually run the tests. We pulled together historic data from the previous campaigns they've done, as their randomized campaigns, as well as their normal customer base without campaigns. I would avoid going into much detail in the interest of time. Feature selection, I wouldn't be going into this detail because I know feature preprocessing, I'll be going into detail because I know most of us understand these aspects. Dropping leaks, feature description to understand. But I'll point to some important aspects we looked at, because we're looking to replicate the logistic regression. We needed to make sure we tackle problems with correlation and multicollinearity. Then looked at missingness, because missingness could be a feature on its own. So now, the actual approach we used, the technical approach to Uplift modeling. We had modeling before considering lift. I made up these terms myself. It's not like I read the literature. Then considering the lift before modeling. I would give you a few seconds to read through, and I'll show you a graphical representation, which brings it a bit more to life. In the interest of time, so for the first part, we had a treatment group, which I've discussed before, and a control group. Now, with Uplift modeling, the critical aspect is being able to distinguish between customers that bought with the offer and customers that bought irrespective of the offer. So, in feature selection, we optimize the features on the model, looking at the difference between those groups of buyers. Did the customer buy with an offer, or did they buy without an offer? So we look at the difference, because the difference will be the most important features that will predict the difference between the groups, which is what we're trying to model. So we built a logistic regression following on from the business process, what they were used to in the business, for predicting treatment and predicting control. So for each customer, we would have 2 logistic regression, and we take the difference score. Then the second approach was a bit more data heavy. This time around, for every case on the control group, we coded them as not buying. As such, we'll be predicting only the persuadables within the treatment group. And we'll build a logistic regression on that. So that is what it looks like. So you see, the initial data set will be bought, and we did a predicted variable in which everything on the control group was not bought, and we have only bought for the treatment group. So we're predicting directly. Although it could have errors, because you could have some in the treatment group that could, it's still working over there, some in the treatment group that could have bought, someone in the control group that could have bought when they have the treatment, okay? Let's hope that keeps working till the end. Nearer the end. We've talked about this already, but also with the XGBoot, we built interactive variables, because you could have, if this customer does this and this, then their chances of buying is better. So we conducted feature interactions and built new features. So at the end, we had about 23 features, if I remember correctly, from about 402 features that we started with. I need to be faster before this goes. We tested the free modeling approach in production. So we tested the Uplift approach, the 2 of them, and also the propensity approach. Yes, it's working. Then we compared the return on market investment. For the trial, we used the first 5 deciles. For the first top 5 deciles, we took the propensity model score and went for the top 5 decile. For those customers, all we did was just inform them of their cross-sellability. Then for the first top 5 percentile, for the Uplift model, we informed them as well as gave them an offer. Across both groups, we had a lift of about 17% in comparison with the typical propensity approach, which is just a basic flat logistic regression. The differences between the approach was minimal, which I would attribute to the feature optimization. Coming to the end, when we put this to production, what we did was, normally the business would target the top decile with the logistic regression or propensity model. What we did differently was advise the business that's demonstrating that 17% lift, that they could target that 17 top decile using the propensity model, then look for the top decile using the Uplift model. So they're spending almost the same amount of money, but targeting 20% of the customers they want to target. And that led to a return on market investment of about 143%. When I talk about market investment, return on market investment, I'm talking about against the 5-year marginal profit. Journey NPS score improved quite significantly for all customers that were within the promotions. And of course, it unlocked new revenue streams. Strategies were tried for churn and upselling campaigns. And I think that's my 30 minutes. Any questions? By the way, in summary, I would say, in agreement with what the earlier speakers have said, most of what in fact, somehow I felt they read my slides. Machine learning solutions are business projects, and they should be measured as such. Whilst you're thinking of the accuracy, you continuously think of the business impact, because that is what the business knows. In our case, they didn't need to know we use logistic regression. They didn't need to know we use neural network, but they needed the figures.
So thank you so much, Sylvester. A big hand of applause.